no more room in hell. The dead will walk the earth.
Greetings, friends, acquaintances, and to the 20 people who will get the notification, look at their YouTube and say, oh shit, not this guy, otherwise known as my subscribers. Welcome to this episode of I Don't Really Have a Title for It. You may notice my Bridget Fonda from Jackie Brown movie poster, and there was an unfortunate glare that kind of made it look like she was sucking a dick, so I pulled the curtain over it because I didn't want 20 people asking me why I had a picture of Bridget Fonda sucking a dick behind me. That's not what it is. But I am your friend and mine, Lord Dixie, aka Lord Dickwad, whatever else as I adjust my camera. I am, of course, you may have noticed, wearing a hard hat. That is because if I get so entirely bored during this presentation that I fall asleep, fall out of my chair, and hit my head, I didn't want to cause irreconcilable, irreversible damage, or irreconcile. I don't have to reconcile my brain damage anyway. But anyway, I got my poster up here. I got my hard hat for safety. I have my Serbian film t-shirt that I've been wearing all fucking day. But what we're doing today, and I'll give you just a tiny bit of background, I'm going to be reading something. And the reason why, there are a couple of yahoos who think it's just fine and dandy for them to take other people's works of art, videos, and shit like that and upload it online, monetize it, and make money off of other people's property. And, you know, they're not getting many views, so they're not making much. But, and it's not even about them making money, it's the fact that since they're uploading this stuff free to the internet, there's no reason for the average viewer to go out and buy it if you can watch it free. That's pretty simple economics. You don't buy shit if you can get it free. And it takes money out of the creators' pockets. They don't care. And the fact they're not getting paid for it, honestly, just kind of makes it worse. But anyway, they think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. So I thought, why not turn it around and take one of their published properties and read it out loud free to you guys so you don't have to waste your money and buy this piece of crap like anybody would. Now, the fact is, this was uploaded by one of the aforementioned yahoos to archive.com under a Creative Commons license. Creative Commons license, if you don't know, basically gives anyone the right to share this without any permission. You do have to attribute it, and I am going to attribute this at the end to the author. I'll attribute it before then, but you do have to attribute it, but you don't have to pay any royalties to them. You don't have to ask their permission. They can't say shit about it. It's under a Creative Commons license. And if they try to have this pulled down, I will appeal it to YouTube under the fact that it is a Creative Commons license, and it's right up here. It also says that they don't have the right to it. And that's the other thing. They actually don't even have the rights, the legal rights, to upload this to archive.com because the person who uploaded it does not have the rights to this work of art to even give it away. It is out of print, so I'm not taking any money away from the actual copyright holder. I doubt they would know, but hey, if they get a burr up their ass and want to file a complaint, then cool, we'll go down that road. But anyway, what we're doing tonight, it may be fun, it may be boring, it may be stupid as fuck. The one thing it probably won't be is an actual literary experience of note. I am going to be reading to you the first couple of chapters of Friday the 13th, Mother's Day. Even though there's a fucking typo right at the beginning that says Mom-ers my. So I guess technically I'm reading Friday the 13th, Mom-ers my, spelled M-O-M-R-S my. M-O-M-R-S space my. So this was written by Eric Morse, who I believe is actually a gentleman named Dan Fox, or possibly William Pattison claims to be Eric Morse. He really doesn't have any proof of that. Dan Fox is a really, really nice guy. So if this is as bad as I suspect, I kind of hope he didn't write it. Pattinson, he everything I've seen with him is horrible. Spelling typo. He doesn't know the true meaning of several words, like author, fan fiction, sane. So anyway, before I go on too much longer, I've already wasted 5 minutes of your precious time. Without further ado, this is Eric Morse's Mamrus Mai. I'm going to read it, maybe 2 chapters. If the second chapter looked really short, if I'm not completely brain dead, I'll go ahead. Now, I'm going to read this as written. I will not correct it for sanity or a 3rd level reading skill level. What he puts down is what I'm going to put out. And that's what she said. All right, without further ado. Mamrus Mai by Eric Morse. Prologue, The Grave. All alone in the woods, a large doe stood nibbling at a row of leafy green plants. Suddenly, the animal raised her velvety head and listened, as if to some far, off sound. The deer's soft brown eyes stared off into the trees. He got that one right. I missed it. In the distance, a twig snapped. The deer's legs tensed. Her head jerked toward the sound. She wrinkled her wet, dark nose as she tried to sniff out the danger. But apparently the deer didn't hear another noise or smell an intruder because she relaxed again, which was a shame. About 100 yards away, the hunter was moving slowly forward. He lowered his heavy black boots carefully, heel to toe, trying to keep noise to a minimum. The hunter was a tall, sinewy man with black beard that covered most of his greasy face. His dark, unfeeling eyes were locked on the deer. The 4 fingers on his right hand were wrapped tightly around the wooden handle of his double-barreled 20-gauge shotgun. The hammer was already cocked. He kept moving forward. Stalking was hard work. Though it was only the beginning of May, the day was hot and humid. Even in the shade of the woods, the hunter was making tiny, wheezing sounds as he breathed in and out through his mouth. To keep the smell of his body from alerting his prey, he was walking straight into the wind. And, with his camouflage clothes and cap, he blended in We, capital U. He blended in We. He could see the doe clearly now. It was standing in a tiny clearing in the woods, a perfect target. Soon, he'd be close enough to blow its head off. It was illegal to kill a doe, he knew. But hey, it wasn't even hunting season, so what difference did it make what he killed? He could hear the deer eating now, hear it crunching on bushes and twigs. Just a few more steps and, for some fucking reason, skip a couple of lines, capital, the hunter's black boots struck something hard. Grunting, he sprawled forward, his shotgun flying out of his hand. He ended up face down in the dirt. He lifted his head just in time to see the white behind of the doe bobbing up and down as it bounded away deep into the woods. Furious, the hunter slammed the hand down against the bed of leaves and brown pine needles covering the forest floor. Then he got to his feet and turned around to see what the devil had tripped him. I'm sure it was none of the homoerotic imagery on that. He stared down in amazement, sticking straight up out of the ground. Right out of the middle of nowhere was a white stone. about 7 inches high. And who the fuck expects to find a stone in the middle of the goddamn woods? Why was it as if the stone's only goal in life were to trip him and save that lousy deer? I meant to warn you that might fall. My non-destructive sticky shit's wearing out. You can say Bridget's going down for real now. Okay, where the fuck was I at? Why was it as if the stone's only goal in life were to trip him and save that lousy deer? Lousy, no good deer. The hunter kicked the stone with all his might. No fucking hunter's gonna kick a goddamn rock. Not even with steel-toe boots. Well, maybe with steel-toe boots, but... Thanks to his heavy black boots, he didn't hurt his toes. But the stone didn't budge. Comma, either. The stone didn't budge, either, period. Think of that. But the stone didn't budge, comma, either. Thank you, Bridget. The only reason for a pause there is so Bridget could finish falling. And that just made him madder. It took 6 more hard kicks before the hunter's anger began to cool. Semicolon. Then his curiosity took over. Wow, chicka, wow, wow. Just what was this stone doing here anyway? Anyway, question mark, comma, he now realized. The fuck? Damn stone, just like damn commas. Abruptly, the hunter smiled, revealing a row of crooked teeth. This stone had been planted here by someone, and that meant he was looking at, skip a couple of lines, a crude grave marker. Another paragraph. And the moment he thought that, an image appeared in his mind. A teenage boy, a bloody knife in his hand, his rotted face hidden behind a white mask. Sure, he'd heard all the legends about Jason Voorhees and the gruesome murders the boy had committed in these parts, but until now he'd dismissed them all as bunk. In fact, he'd helped to spread the rumors himself. If folks believed there was a death curse on Crystal Lake, it only made the hunters skip down like 5 or 6 fucking lines for some reason. Job easier. It meant the woods would be deserted, and he would be free to do his poaching. Sippy, sippy. Shit, this is reading better already. But now that he had found this grave, the hunter suddenly felt very excited. Just think, maybe he'd stumbled on a souvenir of Jason's old murders. He knew how much that would be worth because Jason buried all his fucking victims and put a stone up in the middle of the fucking woods. The tall man dropped to his knees. He drew his long hunting knife out of its sheath and slammed the silver blade into the soft earth. He began to dig. After a few minutes, he tossed the knife aside and started scrambling in the dirt with his bare hands. Soon his fingers touched something, something smooth and wet and gray. When he cleared more dirt aside, he realized what he had found. It was an old cardboard box, about 12 by 12 inches from the looks of it. He dug down deeper until he was able to lift the entire box from the ground. It was surprisingly heavy. Gently, the hunter lifted the box's soggy cardboard lid. And then he looked inside. His heart seemed to stop. His jaw dropped and his eyes bulged. He looked inside the box for only a second. Then his legs started moving as if by themselves, carrying him backwards so fast that he fell, landing hard on his back. It was almost a minute before he was able to stop screaming. And this was the fucking prologue. We're on to chapter 1 now, so we'll at least finish chapter 1. If you're still alive out there, we're going to read chapter 1 now. It didn't hurt that bad. That one. Okay. Chapter 1. Carly. So there's a female character, so maybe we will move away from the homoerotic of him pulling his long silver knife out of his sheath and stabbing it into the ground. Carly. The Pink Princess phone rang so hard it shook the nightstand. Carly answered on the second ring. Hello? Hey, Carly! A sexy guy's voice. Okay, well, I guess we're not getting away from the homoerotic. Boone? Don't tell me I woke you up. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, for Christ's sake. I mean, your mother doesn't make you go to bed this early, does she? He's a rebel, you can tell. Sorry, I shouldn't know. Carly laughed, arched her back, and stretched. You didn't wake me up. I was just... She couldn't think of a good excuse. I was just sleeping, she admitted. Just say you're on the... the fuck is all this, like, third degree? She answered the goddamn phone on the second ring. And, like, there's third degree. What the fuck were you doing, bitch? You waited 2 fucking rings. She sat up, rubbing sleep from her green, almond-shaped eyes. Thick beams of sunlight slanted through the lace curtains on her windows. It was Thursday afternoon. Saying these words to herself helped her clear her head. She always got disoriented when she fell asleep during the day. When the phone rang, he first thought had been her, it's supposed to be her, I guess, had been that someone was screaming. We're just going to have to, like, presume her. She looked down. Next to her on the bed was a large blue book, thank God, the size of a phone book. She stared at the book for a long moment before she remembered what it was. You know, Boone, she said, the stupid thing is, I'm not even tired. But this American history stuff I'm reading is so boring that, she yawned. Pardon if you got that message right. Oh, okay. I'm reading is so boring that, she yawned. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not reading that with the proper inflection. I know, fuck it. Boone chuckled. Carly, you're a real party girl, you know that? She laughed again, but this time she felt a little stung. She knew her reputation. Little Miss Goody-Goody. A worried woman's voice cut in on the line. Hello? Who's calling, please? I've got it, Mom, Carly said. Frowning, Now see, there should be a comma here, dickhead. Frowning, she waited for the click. Well, frowning, she waited for the click. I would have took a comma there. You can probably do with that one. Frowning, she waited for the click as her mother hung up the downstairs extension. Why did her mother act like every phone call was going to bring bad news? If Carly was out somewhere at night and paragraph ends and starts back with lowercase c and called in, parentheses, which her mother always made her do, close parentheses, comma, Mrs. McDonald would usually answer the phone by asking nervously, what is it, Carly? What's wrong? So, Boone, Carly said when she was sure the line was clear, how are you? Because, God damn it, if Mom wants to know how Boone feels, that would have like, you can't see that boy anymore. You ask how he was. Carrie's mother had not been pleased. So apparently, in the time my fucking poster fell, we stopped reading this shit and started reading Carrie. Because our character's name was Carly a couple of moments ago. Carrie's mother had not been pleased, to say the least, when Carly started hanging with Boone. So why is Miss White pissed off that Carly's seeing Boone? She couldn't really blame her. Billy Boone was 20, a high school dropout who wore his long brown hair. I lost my place. who wore his long brown hair in a ponytail and roared around town on a motorcycle. Fucking juvenile delinquent. He worked, when he worked at all, at his father's hardware store. He lived over his parents' garage. Boone's only ambition in life seemed to be to have a good time, which for Boone meant throwing wild parties and getting drunk. We know how the author hates drunks. Sippy, sippy. Oh, Four Loko, shit. Of course, the things that Carrie's mom hated about Boone. Apparently, Carly has been adopted by Margaret White. That's my only explanation, and she's even spelling Carrie wrong. Of course, the things that Carrie's mom hated about Boone were all the same things that made him so popular among the kids in town. Kids love those JDs. Boone pretty much defined cool, like me. Stories about Boone were legendary at Parker Memorial High. Apparently, Parker Lewis did lose. They named the fucking Memorial High School after him. Though he was never caught, Boone was the one who borrowed the school's Big Bear mascot uniform and mooned the entire stadium during the homecoming football game. What a rebel. Boone was the one who had gotten duplicate keys to the school gym and had staged what he called the real prom. It took place hours after the senior prom. Carly had only been a sophomore back then, with braces. Semicolon. Always a semicolon with braces. She hadn't even known about the secret party. But rumor had it that Boone had wheeled in several kegs of beer and presided over the festivities dressed as a school principal, Miss Miriam. When everyone showed up at school Monday morning, they found the gym totally trashed. The faculty knew Boone was responsible, but Boone had already dropped out of school and they didn't have any real proof. There wasn't much the school could do to him. Apparently the sentence ends, but there's no period. Guess what you're doing this weekend, Boone now asked her. Carrie's old gray cat, Theo, jumped up onto the bed and gave her a grumpy-eyed stare. Don't you hate it when cats get grumpy-eyed stares? She scratched under his chin. Quotation marks. Then we skip a space. I give up. What? This is a real troublemaking shit. I mean, he called this girl Carly, and now he's trying to fuck around with Carrie. You're going camping. Well, this can't be good, can it? Friday the 13th movie. Book. Camping, you mean like overnight? Carly's first thought was of her mother's reaction. Mrs. McDonald didn't even like her to stay out late. Camping overnight, you'd be staying out early. I'm just fucking with you. That's right, Carrie. Overnight. God damn it. This is now the Carrie show. There was sadistic edge to his voice. There should be an A in there somewhere. Unless, like, the wrestler Edge is in her voice. As if he were talking to a child. Well, you're fucking, 15 or something, and he's 20, so technically he is, asshole. She made a gargoyle face at herself in the closet mirror. What was the matter with her anyway? Sounds great, she said. Terrific. Now she sounded like a chipper little Girl Scout. Far out, drawled Boone. We leave tomorrow at 9 sharp, and everybody in the 90s said far out. Cheech and Chong still said far out in the 90s. Everybody else had moved away from it by then. Boone? What? Tomorrow's a school day. So, I'm a rebel, remember? I ad-libbed, it would have been better. So, I have to go to school. There was a puzzled silence. Why? He asked finally. Then he cackled. All right. So we'll leave at 4 o'clock, as soon as you get out of school. The way he said it, he made it sound like something only 2-year-olds would bother with. It's only a 2.5-hour drive, so we'll... 2.5 hours? Carly, Carrie. Seriously, motherfucker. Carly, Carrie. It's... Carly, Carly, Carrie, Boone said. He added a mocking sigh. How do you mock with a sigh? Oh. Look out your window. Do you see the campgrounds? Do you see a huge, beautiful lake? Do you see thick, green woods? In other words, do you see a spot where we can do whatever we want without anyone around to bother us? No, you don't. You see boring Newkirk, Massachusetts. That's why we have to drive north a bit. It's this amazing campground, period. Crystal Lake. Carly was already sure she wanted to go, but how would she get permission? That was a thing. Her mother, 1, 2, 3, 4 periods. An ellipse has 3 periods and it's not used in the sentence. What are you going to do around here? Comma. Too much space. Anyway, he pressed. He answered his own question. You're going to do nothing. That's what I mean, comma. What is there to do in Newkirk? This town is dead, Carly. Dead. It was true. Newkirk was a small but well-off town, about 40 minutes outside Boston. It was a commuter town. Basically, that seemed to mean it was a place for grown-ups to sleep when they got home from work. As a result, on weekends in Newkirk, there never seemed to be anything for anyone to do. Kids all went to the movies because there's nothing to do. Hung out at the mall because there's nothing to do. Got drunk because there's nothing to do. Did drugs if you could get them because there's nothing to do. And generally got into trouble. Fuck, it sounds like there's a lot of shit to do in Newkirk. Every Monday at school, there were guys bragging about how they had puked their guts out over the weekend. Every month or so, some kid cracked up his car. Dumb. Boring. Raise your hand if you went to school after a wild weekend and talked about puking up your guts. You went to school, you probably talked about nailing some chick. But as our author has no idea about nailing chicks, but he knows people drink and get drunk and puke. So that's what wild kids do in these sleepy, out-of-the-way towns that are within a short-ass drive to a major city. Who else is going, she asked. Boone didn't answer right away. Whoops, thought Carrie. Fuck Carrie, get out of this fucking story. Maybe, could it be, that Boone was suggesting a trip just for the two of them, where they could drink, go to the movies, and puke up their guts. The thought thrilled her, though she knew the chance of Mother agreeing to that was less than 0. She picked up her pink phone and started pacing around the room. It was amazing how fast life could change. Up until about 4 months ago, Boone had never even looked at Carly because he was fucking Carrie, I guess. Like John Travolta. Ah! She didn't think he even knew she existed. Then she made the girls' varsity basketball team at school. The team's captain was Kelly Boone. I bet they're related. This really great tomboy of a girl who also happened to be Boone's younger sister. Carly started spending time at Kelly's house, tutoring her in calculus. Yeah, I'm still getting over the fact there's a tomboy that was like the head cheerleader, but okay. Carly started spending time at Kelly's house, tutoring her in calculus for free, comma, just for a favor. Wow, chicken, wow, wow. Then we get into some lesbian homoerotic. I can get into that. Then one night, they were in the kitchen when Boone walked in from the garage wearing only a pair of jockey shorts. He didn't seem to care if they saw him. He just stood there half naked, eating a slice of pizza, guzzling soda from the bottle, and joking with Kelly. I always hang out in the garage in my jockey shorts and run around in front of my sister and guzzle soda. Because he's a bad boy. He guzzles soda from the bottle. After mumbling a hello when Kelly introduced him, he didn't talk to Carly much. But 2 days later, he called Carly and invited her to come over, hang out, and listen to his rock band, the Rotting Corpses, while they practiced. Since then, he had called her pretty regularly, taking her for a ride on his motorcycle. She hadn't told her mother about that, in parentheses, of course, and invited her to several of his famous parties. She had to assure her mother more than once that she was not dating Boone. She's just going out with him all the fucking time. Unfortunately, this was the truth. As much time as they'd spent together, Carly always got the distinct feeling that he, mother, had nothing to worry about. I'm glad he, mother, not worry. Let's see here, you stupid fucker. You have a paragraph break, so I just assumed the sentence was over, but it's not. Carly always got the distinct feeling that he, mother, had nothing to worry about. Paragraph break between her and Boone. Yes, they had long talks sometimes, but Boone never made a pass. Not a complete Boone made. Technically that's a complete sentence, but it's a shitty complete sentence. At his parties, he always seemed to have some bimbo around for that purpose. He's a juvenile delinquent. He's a bad boy. According to Carrie's friend Suzanne, she shouldn't be listening to Carrie's friends. Carrie's a fucking psycho pyrokinetic. And she's already finished high school and killed everyone there. According to Carrie's friend Suzanne, Boone didn't try anything because Carly gave off these straight A, always do the right thing vibes. And that was a turnoff for guys. Really. Dude, high school. Chick, got boobs, got legs. Who gives a shit about your grades? Honestly, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. High school boys, did you give a shit about the girl's grades? Well, she got straight A's. Otherwise, I'll be trying to get in that stuff. Oh, no, but she had the straight A's. Yeah. She was hot, but she got them straight A's. Oh, fuck that shit. Oh, hell no. This girl over here, she got ugly, but she make them D's. And D's, please, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. It was a turnoff for guys. She had wanted to brain Suzanne for saying it. Don't brain. I mean, he don't like smart girls, remember? But she suspected she was right. Who else is going? Boone repeated. Well, let's see. A whole bunch of cool people. I ain't telling you, Carly. This is going to be the ultimate bash of the century. All thanks to the genius of your very own party guru, Billy Boone. Billy Boone. He likes the alliteration. Billy Boone. Billy Boone. Will I know anyone else? Carly was speaking from experience. She had learned that when Boone went off somewhere with one of his babes, his parties could be pretty lonely for her. Babes. You'll know me, he said. Besides you, silly. He didn't say silly. He should have said silly. What was that? Well, Major Bummer, who I'm assuming is not an actual army major because it's in, like, it's not capitalized. Major Bummer would be a great name for, like, a military porn character. This is Major Bummer. Guess what he's going to do to you? Oh, shit, she got straight A's. Never mind. Major Bummer goes somewhere else. Well, Major Bummer is that Kelly's got this wicked sore throat, so she's out. But who else? He made his voice casual. Earn Monica. Earn Monica. U-R-N Monica. Monica, do they have a kid named Earn, or is Monica Monique? I apologize. I made a mistake. Earn Monique. So, once again, is there a girl in school named Earn or a guy named Earn, U-R-N? Is Monique in a Earn because she did? Is Monique going to bring an urn? Does Carrie need to bring a urn, or Carly? God, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now. Okay. Urn, Monique. Carrie's heart sank like a big rock in a deep lake. That's some huge ass simile right there, dudes. Monique was a transfer student from Paris. I saw trans, I got scared for a second. I thought we were going to go somewhere I didn't want to go. With her long strawberry blonde hair, she had all the guys drooling. She must have not been a straight A student. She definitely sent off the other kind of vibes. Shit, I was just joking, but he's going there. The I'll do something really bad, all of you have to do is ask me vibes, with a hyphen between every fucking word. The I'll do something really bad, all you have to do is ask me vibes. Monique Duffy? Asked Carly. Doofy. Is this Monique Doofy or Monique Duffy? I mean, Duffy should have two F's. I've never seen the word Duffy spelled with one F. Doofy. Maybe he's being creative or stupid. Doofy? Boone asked. Yeah, that's the one. Carly felt her face flush red and warm. Lucky thing this wasn't a video phone. And here she'd been thinking, Thrnking, thinking. I am the Thinking. Bow down to me. Carrie or Carly? Boone, she said, careful to keep the disappointment out of her voice. You really are amazing. You know that? How did you pick up Monique already? She's only been here one semester. Who said I picked her up? She's just going camping with us. Menage a trois. But I didn't even know you knew her. How did you meet her? Veil, Boone said. V-E-I-L. Veil? This is getting good. And it ain't the booze. But the booze helps. Veil, Boone said. V-E-I-L too. Veil, Boone said. As A-Z. Seriously. As you know, hyphen. He slipped into a heavy and very, very... Okay. This might have worked better if you told us this beforehand. He slipped into a heavy and very bad French accent. And you still fucking spelled veil wrong. A Vaz, always Z-star French student. So Z teachers, they asked me to tutor this Monique in her English. Right. Boone had been kicked out of French class almost every other day, even though he's a fucking dropout. I met her at the pizza shop, Boone said, dropping the accent. Thank fucking God. Hey, he added suddenly, guess who else is coming? Who? Boone didn't answer. She could almost see him grinning as he teased her. Then she heard him chuckle. Who? She repeated. Who? She repeated. Her curiosity piqued. It's just the way the shit's put together. Paul Sexton. Another person we haven't heard mentioned before. Carrie stopped pacing abruptly. Simon Boone. If you're gonna abbreviate, come on. You need to put the apostrophe in, honestly, or right. Come on, but that look. You read it better. See apostrophe on. Come on, and even it's. Simon Boone, seriously, he's gonna Simon you later, in the camp. Bah. Boone laughed harder. I knew that would hook you. It sure did. Paul Sexton. Exclamation. Paul Sexton! Paul, who had graduated last year, was only one of the hunkiest guys in town. He had silky blonde hair. Parenthesis, so silky you wanted to pet it. I'm sorry, it's not this. It's like, oh, that's a good little boy, Paul. Close parentheses. A powerful jaw. A broad back. God, he sounds like he's getting horny here. And rippling muscles. He was captain of just about everything. And his parents were rich. Girls all giggled about Paul's last name, but only because they thought it was so appropriate. And every girl at Parker was dying to find out firsthand just how appropriate that last name was. Except the A students. Boone, Carly said. Paul Sexton is at Brown. That's in Rhode Island, you know. Thanks for the information. It just so happens Paul and his freshman roommate are coming to this party. They're driving here tomorrow morning, and then we're all going up together. Carly couldn't help it. The thought of going camping in the woods with Paul Sexton made her feel a little faint. It made up for Boone's bringing along Monique in a big way. Carly studied herself in the mirror. Her awkward phase had certainly passed. She was wearing baggy shirts and an old maroon Harvard t-shirt that she and Suzanne had picked up once on a day trip to Cambridge. Not flattering clothes, but still, her lanky and angular body showed through. And another one of those fucking paragraph breaks where it shouldn't be. Looked good. With her short dark hair and her long thin neck, Carly had been getting plenty of stares lately. But Paul Sexton? Could she interest Paul Sexton? She tried to keep her voice sounding calm as she asked, comma, and who else is going? Oh, right, like you care. I care. Unneeded space, period. If I'm going to get permission from my mom, which I doubt I can do anyway, I'll have to tell her everyone that's... okay. I'll have to tell her everyone that's... It looks funny because of the way it's typed and formatted. Colin Suzanne, one word. Colin Suzanne, one word. I'm gonna read it again. Colin Suzanne. Carly grinned. Kyle and Suzanne, 3 words, spent so much time together, you never heard people say just one of their names. It was always Kyle and Suzanne. Oh, so he did it on purpose. Fuck that. That's so fucking stupid. Like it was one word or something. It is one fucking word. She sort of hated Suzanne lately for spending so much time with Kyle that she never saw her. And for spacing out and forgetting whenever they made plans to get together. Still, she was glad Suzanne would be coming along. Kyle and Suzanne. So what do you say, Boone asked. The truth was, Carly was already set on going. But she didn't feel like admitting it just yet. I don't even know how to swim, she said. I'll teach you. Won't Paul get jealous? Or not? I don't know. Oh, right. I will. Easy. I have this special instruction system that gets incredibly fast results. I throw you in the lake, you either learn to swim or you drown. Boom, 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 boom. He's full of laughs. He's a juvenile delinquent. He's a bad boy. Oh, very funny. Carly twirled the long pink phone cord. There was a thump as Theo jumped down onto the fluffy white shag carpet and started lunging after the moving cord like a tiger. Listen, Carly, can I say something? You don't swim. You don't drive. If your mother had her way, you'd never go out of the house. That's another reason you've got to come on this trip. You've got to learn to live a little. Carly blushed. Boone was right. She glanced around her room, reddened even more as she saw the room through Boone's eyes. It looked like the room of a 5-year-old, not a teenager. Everything was white or pink, and almost everything had a lace trim, the dust ruffle on her bed, the canopy above the 4-poster, the window curtains, even her dictionary stand. Her mother had sewn it all. Well, thought Carrie, she shouldn't hold it against her mom that she doted on her. A lot of Carrie's friend wished their mothers would pay them more attention. A lot of Carrie's friend. No S. Besides, Carly was an only child. Her father had died in a car accident when Carly was just 2. Her mother had been alone ever since. She had a right to be nervous about Carly's health and well-being. Carly, you gotta come, Boone said. I promised Paul you'd be there. That's like the only reason he's going. Billy Boone, you are such a liar. Without a fucking break. Or, there's no break. There's no indication that you've changed speakers. And that's like the only reason he's going. Billy Boone, you are such a liar. I'm not. 3 fucking sentences. 2 different speakers. No fucking breaks. And then, after I'm not, which is a complete sentence framed by quotation marks, sorry. We start off, her heart, lowercase h, her. Her heart started pounding. There's no way that shouldn't be capitalized. I'm trying to give you a fucking break here, but... Look at me, she thought. And here we go. Look at me. She thought, yes, technically those can be two complete sentences, but they shouldn't be, and you didn't capitalize the S. Look at me, period. Lowercase s, she thought. A minute ago, she couldn't keep her eyes open. Now she was getting so excited about this trip, she wondered if she'd be able to sleep tonight. So, Boone asked, I'm tired of trying to convince you. What about it? Are you in or are you out? I don't know, Carly said. Sunday is Mother's Day. Fucking title of this book! Right here on page whatever. Sippy, sippy. Sunday is Mother's Day. My mom and I usually do something special together. Take Mom camping! Otherwise, she's going to go to the movies, go get drunk, and puke up her guts. Take Mom camping. Oh, geez, Boone sounded truly disgusted. Look, I promise we'll be back Sunday night, okay? You can be with her then. I don't think she wants to be with her. I think she just wants to hang out. It's kind of weird, Boone. Carly felt her heart flutter. She had no excuses left, and that meant he even fucked up an ellipse worse than he normally does. Period, period, space, period. She was a goner, and if you're using your ellipses as a period sentence end, then she should be capitalized. If you're not, you should do your fucking ellipses right. Okay, she said, grinning. I guess I'm in. Boone whooped. Whoop, that is. But Carly added quickly, I don't know how I'm going to get permission. I really don't. I'll take care of it. How? Once again, no, you got two different people talking, three different lines of dialogue with no fucking breaks. If you at least put a line break, then you get the impression that you change speakers. I'll give your mom a call. Oh, that'll really help, said Carly, rolling her eyes. Trust me, Boone said. See, there you at least have Boone said, so you got a clue that was Boone saying the second line. Excuse me. Carly sighed. The fact was, she did trust him. Anyway, there was no turning back now. Boone must have sensed her mood because he said, Carly, you won't regret this. Paragraph break. Promise you right now, you're going to have the time of your life in chapter 1. And since we're in the 47 minutes, we're not going to go into chapter 2 because it's just more bullshit anyway. So that's chapter 1. Now for my official critique of what I've just read. The worst thing is, like, whoever edited this did a sloppy shit-ass job. And this was supposedly published by Berkeley Books. So if they didn't bother to hire a decent editor or to even spell check the shit any better than that, then obviously they didn't really give a shit about this property. The fact that they hired Eric Morse supposedly to write this means they didn't give a shit about this property. Lots of, well, let's say, in one chapter, quite a few typos, grammar errors, lack of punctuation a couple of times, lack of capitalizing a couple of times. The story is very childish, but it's young adult. Your main character, Carly or Carrie, whichever paragraph you're on, she's kind of a confusing, mixed up character. You know, we hear at the first that she's kind of a goody two-shoes type girl. She's obviously got the hots for Boone, but as soon as Boone brings up this guy Paul, who apparently has a big tallywhacker, then suddenly she wants to get with Paul. The author puts a lot of himself and his prejudices into the story already, just at chapter 1, with the way he handles drinking and the way he handles kids and the way he handles sexual things with teenagers. The fact that he hates people who drink and hates alcoholics, and so that's it. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting for one chapter. I had not read this until I got into it. I am with you guys, and I probably won't read ahead on my own. Now I'm going to edit this, post it on the YouTubes. If people want me to read chapter 2, if you thought this was interesting enough, if you thought I did a good enough job, hit me a like, hit me a subscribe, and I'll do more. If I don't get no likes, if I can't pick up one subscriber from this, if I don't get some likes on this and even some shares, well, I don't know if I'm going to waste 40 minutes of my time to do another chapter reading. If you don't like it, click don't like. And if I get enough don't likes, I'll still do I'll do another one because don't likes are about as good. Anyway, as the popular YouTubers as Pootie Piss and the others say, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and the next time I might even get drunk before I start reading. It might make it more interesting. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. I'm gonna go get this shit put up on the onlines. Later, taters.